You ever find yourself grabbing one box of cereal over another and you have, no idea why? Well, the answer might not be in the ingredients list, but in the colors you're seeing. There's this hidden language being spoken every single time you shop, and today, we're going to decode it. Let's get into it.
So what if I told you that up to 90% of the snap judgment you make about a product comes down to just one thing? Not the price, not the features, something way more primal. Yep, that's the power of color.
And get this, a 2006 study by Satyendra Singh found that your brain makes this call in under 90 seconds. That is insanely fast. We're talking faster than you can tie your shoes. It's your subconscious just doing its thing, using these ancient, super powerful shortcuts.
And that brings us to our first big idea here, the 90-second judgment. Basically, when we first see a product, our brain is in this race against the clock to figure it out, and color's its secret weapon for winning that race every time.
This data from that same study is it's wild. It shows that color's influence isn't small. It ranges from a pretty significant 62% all the way up to a staggering 90% of our initial assessment. The big takeaway here is that color is never just some minor detail. It's a dominant force in our first impressions.
And you got to remember, this is not you logically weighing pros and cons. This is a gut reaction. It's this deep-seated, instant response that's all happening way below the surface. Your brain sees a color, and it makes a call before you've even had a chance to think about thinking about it.
Okay, so if our brains are hardwired to react to color like this, it is absolutely no surprise that brands have learned to speak this silent language, right? They use it to build a very specific personality and to tell a story about who they are.
And this quote just nails it. A brand's color isn't just decoration, it's a messenger. It's out there working 24/7, representing the brand's values, its promises, its whole vibe, all without ever saying a single word.
And researchers have actually mapped this all out. They've found that different colors create these really distinct brand personalities. So for example, brands that use a lot of red are shooting for an exciting personality. Think bold, energetic. But on the flip side, blue is all about competence. It's trying to make you feel like they're dependable and trustworthy. And this language is so nuanced. You've got green, which taps into our desire for peace and health and growth. Black communicates sophistication, luxury. Orange feels super friendly and confident, while purple suggests creativity and wisdom. Seriously, each color is like a specialized tool for a very specific job.
But, building a personality is only half the battle. How do brands make sure that personality is actually remembered? Well, the science of color has a pretty cool answer for that, too.
It all comes down to a principle called the von Restorff Effect. It's this cognitive bias we all have, where our brains are basically programmed to remember things that are different. When everything kind of looks the same, the one thing that stands out becomes almost impossible to forget. And that's exactly how a unique color makes a brand stick in your mind.
Here's a really simple way to picture it. Imagine a busy street just packed with people in gray business suits. And then one person walks by in a bright red coat. Who are you going to remember at the end of the day? The sea of gray or that one splash of red? That is the isolation effect in action. Okay, let's take all this out of the lab and into the real world. Because once you understand these principles, I'm telling you, you will start seeing them everywhere, from the grocery store aisle to the ads popping up on your phone.
I mean, just look at this breakdown. It's not a coincidence that so many tech companies and banks use blue. They're cashing in on that feeling of trust and competence. Fast food joints, they use red and yellow to create a sense of speed and excitement. Health brands lean really hard on green for that connection to nature and wellness. And luxury goods, all about the sophistication of black and gold. Entire industries have a color code.
So, what's the big takeaway from all this? How can you actually use this knowledge to be a more, aware consumer?
It really comes down to 3 steps. First, just be aware that it's happening. Acknowledge that powerful gut reaction, that 90-second judgment. Second, take just a second to try and decode the message. Ask yourself, what feeling is this color trying to get me to feel? And finally, this is the most important part. Ask if the product's actual quality lives up to the promise its color is making. At the end of the day, it all boils down to this. Color is not just some aesthetic choice a designer made. It is the most direct, powerful, and universal nonverbal language that brands use to speak directly to your subconscious. It is a shortcut straight to your emotions. So the next time you're walking down an aisle or scrolling through a website, take a closer look. You're not just seeing colors anymore. You're actually reading a hidden language. The only question left is,
Now that you know the code, what are you going to see differently?